Hello, my name is Juanita Gaitan, and as you may not know, but I work at an elementary school servicing a child with autism. So today I will be talking to you about what is autism while also giving you a little bit of insight of what it is to communicate and be surrounded by somebody or multiple people that do have autism and how our day-to-day basis goes. So, what is autism? Autism is the spectrum disorder that refers to a broad range of conditions characterized by challenges with social skills, repetitive behaviors, speech, and nonverbal communications as well. Right now in the United States, an estimated of 1 in every 36 children have autism, as well as in 1 in 45 adults have autism in the United States alone. How does autism affect day-to-day life? So, autism affects sensory processing, communications, routines, emotional regulations, mental health, and many more. Sensory processing can be affected by having hypersensitivity or hyposensitivity with things such as sound, touch, taste, and smell, which is basically, as we know, our five senses. If any of this sensory is thrown off by in an individual with autism, it can cause a sense of distress and anxiety, and they can have very mixed emotions because the feelings of distress and anxiety in the day-to-day life. Communication can be very affected with people with autism. They don't have a way of communicating the way a neurotypical person does. So let's say me or you. People with autism have trouble making new friends or simply starting a conversation like anybody else can. Is autism genetic? Autism is genetic. It is a majority of 80% of ASD cases can be linked to inherited genetic mutations. Any other cases likely come from a stem of non-inherited mutations. This information coming from UCLA School of Medicine. Currently, right now, as of 2024, there is no known cure for autism, and it can be treated if it is caught early, but it does not make autism go away. It makes some symptoms be mitigated, so they don't go to the extreme, if anything. There's about 5.4 million adults in the U.S. who have autism, but their symptoms may not be as severe as others. The different levels of autism, because there are different levels, there are 3 levels. Level 1 is requiring support, level 2 requiring substantial support, and level 3 requiring very substantial support. Starting with level 3. Level 3 would be for verbal and nonverbal communication skills that cause severe impairments in functioning. So their day-to-day lives look very different from what a neurotypical person's day-to-day would look like. People with level 3 ASD have extremely difficult time coping with changes, and they have a sense of very strong restrictive and repetitive behaviors. An example could be somebody who has very limited speech. That could be they are nonverbal completely, or they have a few words here and there. For example, like I mentioned, I do work at an elementary school servicing a student with autism. He is a level 3. His vocabulary goes from very, very short sentences or statements like no, yes, go away, I don't want to, I can't do it. For between him and I, our communication is based off a lot of visuals. We have boards, and they are basically a lot of pictures, restrooms, playground, anything that we could use throughout the day, like resource times. He has his own way of comprehending what each room or what each class is called. So for example, his resource time, he used to have a coloring book in there, and it had a lion on the front page. So now that room is called the lion. We do have a decompression room, which is for him. It is called the cow room because there is toys in there, and he plays with the farm animals, and his favorite is the cow. So it just, for him, he associates it with cows. So the cow room is what he goes and feels more comfortable with. So level 2 can come in with a lot of social impairments, and they do have support in place, but not as much as a level 3 person would have, but they do still have some support in their day-to-day lives. For example, someone who does speak simple sentences, they're probably not complete, they probably don't make a lot of sense, but the people with autism level 2, they tend to be very passionate about one thing or a couple of things, but not a broad range of conversation topics. For example, I have another student who is a level 2. He is very into dinosaurs, and anything that has to do with dinosaurs he absolutely loves. He can name you any dinosaur that you would like to know. If you show him a picture of it, you can show him a picture of a stegosaurus, and he will tell you that it's a stegosaurus, and this is what they eat, this is what they do, because he is very interested in that one topic. So he is very hyper focused on one conversation topic, and that is one of the only topics he can have an extended conversation with anybody about. A level 1 person does not have as much support as the other levels. They can go on through their day as normal. They do have some difficulties with communications. They are not always able to hold a conversation in full, but it is more likely for you to have a conversation with a level 1 than a level 3 because of their nonverbal or verbal limitations. In conclusion, autism is something that affects somebody in their day-to-day life in many, many ways. Little things as a different type of bread in your sandwich can cause a whole type of reaction that somebody wouldn't typically have. So these are people that don't have the comprehension as others. Now, this does not mean that we cannot communicate effectively with anybody, because they communicate in their own way and they get their point across one way or another. Like I said, every communication is possible, and every behavior is a form of communication. Thank you so much.